everyone, Jessica Cockatoo here. So in this video, if you can tell by the title, to celebrate ITV turning 70, I decided to tell you guys more about Regional Broadcast Precure as a series. Now take note, I co-own this series now, alongside Funtime Foxit. I'll get into why that is later. So I'll be telling you everything you need to know about its creation and what exactly it's meant to represent and such, from the top of my head. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first off, we're going to actually talk about the origins of the series, and they're actually kind of simple. Some of you might remember this, some of you might not. A while ago, I actually made every single ITV brand as a human, way back, mind you. Then all of a sudden, on one of these posts, the last one of the lot, part 3, when I did the last lot, a guy called Max Gianelli, I'm sorry if I butchered that, commented basically saying, what if this was a Magical Girl series? And I obliged, because I went, hey, that's not a bad idea. Thus, Regional Broadcast Precure was born. So I needed to start with the plot, like I mentioned in my tips on how to make a Magical Girl series video. And I know exactly where to go. For context, back in the 90s, we got a new Broadcasting Act. That basically meant that no brand could take each other over, money-wise, until 1994. Fast forward to 1994, and that's exactly what happened. To the point where, by the mid-90s, or just after the mid-90s, Granada and Carlton fused to form ITV plc, and consolidated all the rest of the ITV contractors. All of them dead! I knew exactly that's what I wanted my villain plot to be. To have all the ITV networks to be consolidated into one to try and make it easier. But then, who would be the villain? Well, that was an easy choice.
This is the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
Yes, sir, the Independent Broadcasting Authority, or IBA. There's a good reason why I wanted them to be the villain, and I can't explain everything in this video, sadly enough. But to put it very simply, they actually were the ones who dissed off several different contractors, including Southern Television, who I'll talk about in a minute. If you want to really know a bit more about all this, then go check out the documentary series done by Bob the Fish Productions called ITV in the Face. It's both funny and informative, and I think it's really good. High marks from me. Now granted, IBA might have been the regulator of all the networks, and he did have the right to kick him out if necessary. But in terms of RBP's law, that's not really how it works. In RBP's logic, the actual contractors as humans are like the managers, not the chairmen or anything, but more like a co-manager of the company that they're meant to be. And if they've had a successor or predecessor, then they're classed as their parent or child, depending on which one. For example, TVS succeeded Southern, so therefore, in RBP's logic, TVS is Southern's child. In this case, since TVS is a boy, he is Southern's son. And if the contractors get kicked from their job, the entire company goes with them, and their son or daughter takes their place in doing the broadcasting stuff. Just like how Southern died and TVS had to take her place. Speaking of whom, let's talk about Southern Television. In RBP's logic, Southern Television takes the role of the queen in the story. She's the one who actually sends down the sidekick, in which case her daughter Star, to find the 5 Precures to try and stop IBA from taking over the entire ITV network and consolidating it all into one. As a company, Southern Television was founded in 1958 and were the first contractors of the south and southeast of England. And that's roughly Dover's area, as well as Southampton and the area surrounding them. They ran until 1982, specifically New Year's Day of 1982. When the 1980 Broadcasting Act rolled around, they did a pitch to IBA to make sure they could keep their contract, so they could keep broadcasting to the south and southeast. But IBA didn't really like it. In fact, in Southern's eyes, that was a big act of betrayal. Thus, as a result, they decided to literally not renew their contract at all with another pitch. since it was already said and done, and instead just throw a big televised tantrum at IBA because of what they've done, making it act more like it was a flippin' funeral. And then to top it all off, you had this symbol of Southern, the star, yes, it's a star, not a compass, going off into space to its final resting place. Rest in peace. Also, I didn't mean to rhyme there. And that is the exact reason why I made Southern an angel rather than a proper human, because of the way that Southern television actually died out. TVS, yes, might have actually succeeded her, but her legacy still lives on through him because he is her son after all. And yes, that means, before you go asking me, that TVS and Star are brother and sister. They're siblings. Now let's talk about Star for a wee minute. Yes, I did that on purpose. The reason I actually made her talking meeps instead of proper English is because stereotypically in cartoons, an inanimate object or even a symbol or logo usually makes a rubber ducky noise or something that sounds similar to that when they move or try to speak, in a sense. That's why Southern always talks in meeps as a result.
And personally, I think it's really cute.
Now, I don't really want to brag along about this side of the production. I made all the cure designs, I did all the VAs, and for the first time I did it on Casting Call Club instead of YouTube or Discord. I'm not allowed to use Discord anymore, to be brutally honest. God dang it, Mum. I started making the transformations and everything, but by the time I was about to get started on episode 1, some of the VAs went inactive for goodness knows what reason. Thus, I actually had a few other problems, especially considering I had PLPC and LOTG breathing down my neck. So I decided to cancel the series, but give it new life. So I passed it on to Funtime Foxit to continue its legacy. But since I'm the creator of most of the characters, I still own them. And second of all, Funtime Foxit had to move every character to Gatch Life 2 and remake them there. But I helped her in the process as well, so thank me later. And now we hit the present with ITV turning 70 next month. I can't wait to get RBP out there to the world. And I really hope we can get episode 1 out this year. It would be an absolute dream and would make perfect sense considering ITV has hit the big 7-0. So make sure you check out ITV in the Face to celebrate, since that too was made for the anniversary of ITV, specifically the 60th. And I hope this gave you some insight on RBP in general. And until next time,
This is JK2 signing out. Peace.